WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, I'm so happy to tell you a story right now. I got a story I want to share with you. It goes back to 1995, Robin.
Okay.
My son was 9 years old. I would drive him to school and drive him from school, and it was kind of a long drive because, it's kind of a rural area around here. We lived in Rainbow Lakes at the time. Anyway, so he would be reading this book, and I would be driving, and every once in a while he would go, "Holy crap, Dad!" And then he would read me a passage from one of the Goosebumps books, and he just loved those books. I am telling you, he absorbed them. Anyway. So about a week ago, when I found out that R.L. Stine was going to be our guest, I texted him. He's 31 years old now. I said, R.L. Stine is going to be our guest. And he wrote back, "Holy crap, Dad."
He is 9 years old again.
R.L. Stine, my gosh, you are a legend in your field. Goosebumps is what you're famous for. You've sold more than 300 million copies. Just a dime from every one of them, right? Anyway, let me put a picture out here of him on the streaming thing. There he is, right there in front of a couple of his books. Good morning, R.L. Stine. What an honor to have you on our show.
Oh, thank you. I like that story.
You like that? Yeah,
it's a great story.
Oh my gosh,
that's good.
He's 31, but he still couldn't believe you were going to be on the show.
And he just read Goosebumps. How twisted is he?
Well, let's see. He's going hiking this month in Colorado.
Yeah.
30 miles. So I think that's pretty twisted. Still hiking 30 miles.
Yes, I think so.
So how are you? How have you been doing?
I'm hanging in. I'm enjoying this. It's kind of hard to believe. 25 years of writing this stuff. How crazy do you have to be to write 130 books? Pretty crazy.
Do you have a young person in your life that you bounce them off of, or do you just know what is going to be fun for them to read?
No, I've done it. I've done it so long. The young person in my life, I have you beat, by the way. My little boy is 37.
Ooh.
His claim to fame back in the 90s was that he never read one.
Oh no! Well, my son did it for him.
Story? No, he never read one, just to make me nuts. He knew it would make me crazy.
Has he read them since?
Horrible, right?
Has he read them since?
No. Actually, he does my website now, so he has to keep up. So he doesn't read it.
Were you a big reader when you were that age? When you were young, were you always reading books?
No, comic books.
Oh, comic books.
We all had big stacks of comic books we carried around. We read comic books. We had those great EC horror comics when I was a kid. Tales from the Crypt and the Vault of Horror. I loved them. They were very influential on me, actually, because they were scary and funny at the same time.
So now you have a new...
One day, I didn't read books at all, and then one day I was at our little library. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, and the librarian said, "Bob, you like comics. I bet you'll like these books." And she took me to a shelf of Ray Bradbury stories.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, that just changed my life. He really turned me into a reader.
Oh my gosh, that's a great story. I don't know. I think you made my son a reader. My son is an avid reader, and I really truly think your books were the first ones he really embraced as a series, and as an author he would know to look for.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, that's what Goosebumps is about, really. I don't really want to terrify kids. It's not really the point of it. It's to, get its reading motivation. The books are so easy to read, and short chapters, and great twist all the way through, and they're just supposed to say, "Look, kids, you can pick up a book and be entertained."
Yeah. I'm looking at I have a picture on the streaming video we're doing right now of you, and you do not look like the kind of guy that giggles, but you must have giggled when you came up with the name SlappyWorld. I mean, that's an awesome name, SlappyWorld. Slappy birthday to you.
Yeah, I was very pleased. Very pleased. Everyone likes Slappy, and people are terrified of him. I've actually written 11 Slappy books.
Oh my
God! Hard to believe. And I'll tell you this: if you go to Wikipedia, Slappy has his own page in Wikipedia.
Does he really?
Wow!
How strange is that?
How does that happen? I mean, do fans do that? I don't even know how Wikipedia works.
I don't know how that happened. You know, everyone writes Wikipedia. And there he is. He has his own page.
Did the phenomenon of Goosebumps take off immediately, or was it one of those not really so overnight successes?
It was almost. It took. We put 3 of them out there, and they just sat on the shelves for about 6 months. And I think if it came out today with computers and everything, the stores would have just taken them away, and that would have been it. But after 5 or 6 months, somehow kids discovered them. It was a secret network of kids telling kids about them, because there was no advertising, no hype. There was no internet in those days. And it was just kids telling kids, and somehow it just took off all over the world all at once. I think no one was more amazed than me, believe me.
Wow, well, that's awesome. Were you able to track where the sales were taking place? In other words, did you see a big bump in Central Florida?
Yeah, Alex had the whole collection.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing that, but no. I was here, and then I was here just typing. I was writing at that time. I did 12 a year. I did a Goosebumps book every month. So
wow.
I didn't get out much.
Well, you have such a variety. You have Fear Street, Rotten School, The Nightmare Room, and then you wrote the 2-book thriller Dangerous Girls.
I keep busy.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What inspired Dangerous Girls?
I have a what?
What inspired Dangerous Girls?
It's vampires. They're teen vampires.
Ah, okay.
They come home from camp and they don't even realize they've been bitten. And then they find a rabbit in the backyard and they devour it. This happens. Then they realize that they're vampires.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny.
But I have a grandson now, so I'm doing picture books. He's 3 years old. Maybe he'll read my book.
Oh my God!
I bet he will.
Oh my gosh!
Right. I have a picture book with Mark Brown, who does Arthur the Aardvark. Everyone, you know Arthur.
Oh yes.
And and it's called Mary McScary. It's coming out in August, about a little girl who just wants to be scary. So that's a whole new world for me, doing picture books. Kind of fun.
You know, I brought up the fact that you were coming on the show, and somebody mentioned that Jack Black played you in the movie, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even know there was a movie. What
you didn't see the movie?
I know, I didn't know.
Where are you?
No.
What planet are you on?
So what was that? Was that fun to make a movie out of the book?
It was amazing. It's so weird to be a character in a movie. And there was Jack Black playing me. I'm this grouchy old author who's retired because I'm frightened that all the monsters are going to escape from my books.
Oh.
And so I'm.
Wait a minute. Maybe I did see
out.
this one. I don't know.
Yeah. And of course, that's what happens. All the monsters escape from the books, and then the rest of the movie is a big chase scene.
Do you do all the artwork also? Pardon me for not knowing this, but so you have an artist.
I can't draw.
Uh-huh.
If I could draw, I wouldn't have to write all these books. I'd be so happy.
Oh my God!
That's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I wanted to be a comic book artist. And then I realized, everyone told me I had no talent. No talent whatsoever. So I had to write.
Oh, my gosh. You sound like Alan Alda right there when you said that. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
New York City.
New York City. Okay. Did you grow up there? Is that where you're from?
No, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did say that. All right.
Yeah.
I have... If we have anybody listening who knows of a 9-year-old... My son was 9 when he found your books. He loved them. My gosh.
Goosebumps is 7 to 11.
7 to 11 is what they say? Okay, so 9 is perfect.
I lose them at 11. They go on to Stephen King.
So I have Slappy.
They're gone.
I have Slappy Birthday to You and Attack of the Jack, so I will give both of them away if you call me and tell me you want them. The rest of us have to go buy them, obviously. Did we go to your website?
rlstein.com. Nice.
rlstein.com.
You can't buy them there, but, there's info there.
I don't even need to tell people where these are because these books are everywhere. They were so easy to find. Barnes & Noble was my choice of bookstores, but you could go anywhere. They were everywhere, so... All right.
I got I got real lucky.
All right.
You're wonderful.
Thank you, RL. Thank you for. Do I call you Rob or RL? I'm just calling you RL.
Bob. Bob. Everyone calls me Bob. No one ever called me RL in my life. I think. No, seriously, I think you have to live in Texas to be RL, don't you?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, what an honor. I'm going to share this with my son. He's going to cringe when he hears me tell a story about riding in the car, but that's okay.
That's wonderful.
Thank you so much for being on with us today.
I really enjoyed talking with you. This was great.
All right,
Thanks.
we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. So this Thursday, sunshine mixing with clouds. There'll be a thunderstorm around during the afternoon hours, even a shower or two at the coast for a while today. The high 87 to 91. Partly to mostly cloudy Thursday night with a thunderstorm in spots early on.